What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Pub Sports Radio. I'm your boy Clint, and today we are talking prize picks. That is right. We got a new sponsor here at Pub Sports Radio. Hey, do me a favor. If you are hanging out with me on Twitter, you just saw this thing go live, click the link. Join me on YouTube. Come hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We appreciate the love and support here from you guys. Hey, if you need an alternative way to gamble, if sports betting just isn't enough, Prize Picks has a really cool new way to address this. They've got a lot of fantasy scores. You can do takedowns, fight time, significant strikes, things of that nature, stuff that major sports books really don't dig into, but, stat crunchers, MMA nerds, and junkies, we absolutely love to get into. So it's a cool new way to address betting. And really the way they do it is it's almost like a parlay structure. You can tie together two or more prize picks, and it will give you a multiplier payout depending on how many you tie together. For myself, I've got three prize picks here for you today. The first one I want to talk about is Gabe Gifted Green taking on Yohan Lainez. Now, what they've got is a time limit set here at 10 minutes for fight time, and you simply select over or under that 10-minute time limit. And I'm going to say under, so that's 2 rounds for us. If this fight hits round 3, that line is over. The bet is lost. I'm saying this fight is going to finish. The reason for that is Gabe Green is not the most defensively sound fighter we have ever seen. Now, he's tough, he's gritty, he's durable. We've seen him knocked out twice, though, so we know he can be finished. And Yohan Lainez has soul-crushing power. But Yohan Lainez is a guy that I'm not sold on. Yohan Lainez is a guy who he's a little sloppy in the striking, really relies on that power, and he blows his wad early looking for the finish. So if he is not able to put Gabe Green away, we saw Gabe Green in his last fight nearly have my guy Phil Rowe out of there with leg kicks. He just continues chopping away. And when you get somebody tired, they absolutely give up their neck. They make grappling mistakes. And Gabe Green is a guy with a 6 squeeze on him. I can see him getting Yohan Lainez out of there, either TKOing with leg kicks or some kind of a submission. Both guys definitely have the capability to finish in this fight. So I'm going to say under 10 minutes for my first prize pick. My second prize pick is going to be Grant Dawson, my guy moving out to the ATT. He left Glory MMA behind looking for some higher level training partners, and he is set at takedowns 2.5. I'm going to go over 2.5 takedowns from my guy, Grant Dawson. Now, he's taking on Jared Gordon, a guy who realistically has some pretty strong counter grappling. However, what we have seen from him is even though he gets taken down, he gets back up, but that takedown counts. So we need Grant Dawson to go out there and do what he does, which is chain wrestle. If you listen to the interviews with Grant Dawson, he's talking about how he wants to prove the doubters wrong. His last fight, he came out, he gassed out, and he almost got finished in that 3rd round of his fight. So he is looking really to put a statement on his cardio here in this fight. And if you believe what the fighters say, most of the time, I tend to, I think he's going to come out and follow exactly the game plan that he laid out. He was extremely confident when talking about said game plan. He's going to put a pace on someone like Jared Gordon, and Jared Gordon's not really a finisher threat. He is a guy that will overwhelm you if you get tired and gas out. He's got decent boxing. We've never seen Grant Dawson be a chinny guy, so I'm not really worried about him getting knocked out or anything like that. So as long as Grant Dawson is in this fight, as long as it's a competitive fight, I think he gets over 2.5 takedowns. So even if he ends up losing it, doesn't matter. We banked the 2.5 takedowns. We're good to go. That's pick number 2, Grant Dawson over 2.5 takedowns. For my third prize pick that I want to give to you today, we've got Krzysztof Jotko, and we're going to go to the fantasy score portion of the prize picks page here. We've got him set at 83.5 points for his fantasy score. Now, the fantasy score thing is still something I'm starting to figure out. I'm not going to lie to you. This is my third pick because it's my least confident of the 3. But the way I see this fight playing out is Krzysztof Jotko is a man who is risk adverse. He is low volume. He defends the takedowns. He likes to stay on the outside. He's a decision machine. So he's not much of a knockout threat. He's not much of a volume striker. We don't tend to see him go for a ton of takedowns. His fights are always very close and very competitive. So even if he fights this fight perfectly, even if the game plan is fantastical, I don't know that he's going to score 90 points. I still think he can win this fight with a close decision, fighting the way he does, scoring the bigger shots, keeping the fight in his realm standing, and score under 83.5 fantasy points. On the flip side of this, he's taking on Gerald Meerschaert. And what we know from Gerald Meerschaert is this is a man who loves to get in there and bang. And he has taken out some people very unexpectedly. He can submit literally anybody in the octagon. He takes advantage of fighters late. So if Gerald Meerschaert wins this fight, I am expecting a finish. And what that means for our fantasy score is that our boy Krzysztof Jotko likely is not going to score well. Let's envision for a moment that Gerald Meerschaert is able to get something going in the first round, a la Paul Craig, and manages to grind this fight to the floor and snap Krzysztof Jotko's arm off the way he would like to. That's going to leave Jotko with less than 83.5 points. I see pretty much any way that Gerald Meerschaert wins this fight, Jotko's score will go under. I'm a little worried about Krzysztof Jotko going over if he lands like a round 2 KO or something along those lines. But again, we're banking on him being the type of fighter that we have seen, a decision machine, a low-volume fighter, not a guy that tends to finish. So I'm going to say under 83.5 points for Krzysztof Jotko. Those are my 3 fantasy prize picks for you here. You have 2 options when linking these up on Prize Picks. You can do a flex play, which means if you get 2 out of 3 correct, it will pay 1.25x, so you at least get a little money back for having your 2 out of 3, and should it go 3 out of 3, you get 2.25x on your money. Or you can go balls to the wall and pick that power play option, which means you tie all 3 of them together and all 3 must hit, but it's a 5x payout. So it depends on how confident you are. I've played around a little bit with the 5x payout. I kind of like the flex play because you get your money back with just a little bit extra. Hitting 3 out of 3 and getting 2x is a little disappointing instead of hitting, that bigger score, but it's probably a safer way to go ahead and grind at it. So totally up to you, the level of risk that you want to take on these 3 prize picks. That's what I've got for you folks. Shout out to my guys in the chat. I see you, Alex Ramirez and Real Deal Prime, shouting wrestling rules. Absolutely, my man. Hey, folks, that was the short stream there for you. Those are the 3 prize picks that I've got for you. Make sure you head on over to Prize Picks. Use the promo code PUBSPORTS for a 100% deposit match up to $100. Get yourself a free hundo when you get in there and start gambling on Prize Picks. We just found another way to make you some more money. Let's go. Good luck on all your action this week at UFC Vegas 53, everybody. Let's roll.